Hello Libra, welcome to your December 2022 tarot card and astrology readings. Congratulations, we made it to December. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. My name is Jane for those of you who are new. I am so grateful to have you here. So as always, these readings are separated into two segments. The first segment is going to be an intuitive tarot card reading, and the second segment is going to be an astrological prediction. So you're more than welcome to watch either segment first. All the timestamps are going to be found in the description box and the comment thread down below for easy access. You can watch for your sun, moon, or rising sign, although I do recommend watching your rising sign if you are concerned about having accurate house transit information. You can certainly watch for your Venus sign if you're here for love. And if you're interested in joining my Soul Seekers group, we would absolutely love to have you on there. Soul Seekers group is where I post exclusive content specifically geared for members, where we go more in depth on specific transits, and we have a little bit more educational information coming out on there as well. So please see the timestamps in the description box and the comment thread down below to jump to each segment of the reading. I hope you guys have an amazing December. You know I love you, and I'll see you in just a sec. Hello Libra, welcome to your December 2022 tarot card reading. So let's go ahead and take a look here, see what comes through with my intuitive deck just to open up the channel. So let's see here. Okay, I'm seeing a road. Like immediately I'm seeing a road, and I'm seeing a lot of speed. I'm seeing a really direct and clear and obvious path. Look, Libra, there is no doubt in my mind. You know exactly what you need to do. And some of you may be really focused on only one area of your life. So maybe you're only focused on something going on at work or in your career, and everything else you're willing to just let it be what it is, so that this one thing can get a huge bump of growth, because your Mars in the 9th house, I'm sorry, but he is demanding expansion for Libra, and it is more for you than it is for anybody else. And I know we're all in Sagittarius, so yes, expansion is a theme, but it is doubled for you, Libra. Also Aries, okay? And I think you feel it. You're like, okay, okay, it's time. Like, we're doing it. I know I want to, and I think it is something you want to, because if we have been stagnant or stuck, Scorpio season, I think, really accentuated that we don't want to be in a certain place. Like, we don't want to stay behind this desk anymore. We want that corner office type of thing. We want that salary increase. We want those bigger clients. We want that love of our life. Like, we're not messing around here anymore. The standard just jumped like 10 levels. And it's go time. And when Libra decides that it's go time, because Libra can go dormant, right? Because of that Venusian energy, it can certainly go dormant and just kind of be okay with the balance of everything. So when Libra itself decides to disrupt those scales and push down on one side really, really, really hard, it's a big deal. And it's meaningful. And Libra is not going to do that unless they know they can succeed, and unless they know that they have a real shot at getting everything that they want. So I know that by pushing this gas pedal down as hard as you can, the commitment is very real. So in what the universe needs from you is temperance, which I love, because even though it's kind of a little bit in conflict with what I said, but if you can push down that gas pedal really, really hard and start accelerating really fast, this temperance, if you can be cool with that, you're golden. Like with the triggering transits, we've got Neptune going direct, we've got Chiron going direct, and we have a big full moon conjunct Mars. So there is like a heightened state of emotion. There's no doubt about it. But we're not operating and making choices rooted in emotion right now. We're following like the desire of the soul. That's one thing I love about fire signs. And when the sun is in a fire sign, is there is this like, I know what my gut wants, and I'm not going to deny myself that, and I'm just going to go for it. There's not a lot of hesitation with fire energy. And so to just be cool with it is great. Like this is I think how you play the game. It's kind of like a little bit of a poker face. It's like you're sitting there with a flush, knowing that you're going to beat everybody, and you go all in on something and you up the stakes like huge, and yet you're just sitting there calm, cool as a cucumber, and no one, and this is what I mean with Libra being a dark horse. This is exactly what I mean. Cancer is the same way, which makes sense with you, Cancer, in the 10th house. You got a lot of this dark horse energy. It's like you sit crouched in the grass like a crouching lion, right? You sit and you sit and you sit and you sit. And then one day you get hungry enough that you pounce, and you only pounce once, and you kill your prey, right? You immediately do it. And it's like no one even saw it coming because they didn't even know you were sitting in the grass. And it's a wonderful thing to watch. I love seeing my Libras do that. And they can usually go from 0 to 100 very quickly because that air energy is cardinal air. What a blessing, honestly. Okay. Queen of Wands in the environment. I love this. She's been coming out a lot. And I think relationships have been so important, and the support that these relationships give. And this is really a cheerleader person in your life who's just like, good for you. Amazing. Yes, you can. Keep going, keep going, keep going. I'm so proud of you. I love you. You're so beautiful. You're so intelligent. Keep going. But there's nothing false about it. Like, it's not that they're just, stroking your ego. Not that you would really let them do that anyway. And if they did, you wouldn't really accept it. But this is someone who just has a lot of joy in their heart. And in a way, they were probably put on this planet to lift everybody up. And they're actually really happy with that. They don't feel drained by that, right? It invigorates them to lift people up. And so here's the Queen of Wands, someone who loves you to death and wants you to have everything. And there's not a stroke of jealousy here at all. Okay, this is someone you can rely on, someone that it's just, I don't know, they're just always that boost when you need it. And not that you're using them. I think this is probably like a best friend or a sibling, or if you've hired some kind of a coach or a mentor or something. But there's just a bubbliness there that I think Libra needs, because even though you may be cool as a cucumber and you may not want to be expressing a lot on that beautiful face of yours, because there's still like it's like when you have all that energy in your stomach. Like, have you ever spoken in public, like right before you go on stage, and you have that stirring in your stomach, and it's like, like nervous, but excited and anxious, and like, there's a lot going on. But then you still have to walk out on stage and be like totally normal. It's kind of what I'm sensing with you. So this is a good release for you here, is to talk to that Queen of Wands, And they'll always say the right things that will help motivate you, like get back out on that stage, Okay. The Moon. The Empress. Beautiful. I love the Venusian energy for Venus ruled Libra. We love that. Feel like that one. 7 of Coins reverse. Yeah, the 7 of Coins is not a surprise, because this is like why you're doing what you're doing, because you're looking at the current state of something. You're taking inventory, right? You're looking at your balance sheet. You're looking at your bank account. You're looking at your home environment. You're looking at your car, whatever the thing. And you're like, you know what? I need an improvement here. I do think money is a big thing. I mean, that's a big thing for everybody with the nodes being in Taurus and Scorpio, especially for Libra and Aries, because it's in the 2nd house and 8th house. So yes, money is a big thing, but not money for the sake of money, but money for the sake of doing something else, right? You need money to be able to do the other thing. So a big part of this is likely financial. Yes, I need a new car and I need money to get a new car. So how do I get new money? And there's not like disappointment here. Like, I don't think that you're looking at something and being like, oh man, like poor me. There's no pity party going on. It's just You're logically looking at something, right? Cool as a cucumber. You're looking at something, you're observing it logically, practically, intellectually, and you're just saying, okay, that needs improvement. Period. That's all it is. That's what all of this is really coming from. Even though there is a lot of emotion with the astrology, right? Did I say this already? Maybe I haven't said it already. But Neptune, Chiron going direct throughout December. And then we have the big full moon conjunct Mars on the 7th. So there are a lot of triggery kinds of things. A lot of triggery things. But even though we're getting triggered, we're not letting those triggers win. We're like determined to overcome them. Because when I look at this moon, it really feels like Libra is aware, like hyper aware of the things that they have been harboring, right? The unconscious aspects of themselves that have been retained from past wounds and traumas. It's like it's not unconscious anymore. When the moon comes out, it's going to be pretty obvious, especially around that time of that full moon on the 7th. Mercury and Venus coming into Capricorn. Capricorn brings so much truth. All right. I mean, this is like the realest zodiac sign. If anyone could be any more real than Capricorn, I mean, I don't even like, and when I say real, I just mean like real honest. So we can't escape that because Capricorn is just going to, hammer us down if we're trying to lie to ourselves in any way. It's like you can't be in denial. It's like impossible. So what it is that you've been harboring that has prevented you from being in this beautiful Empress throne. What has prevented you from this comfort and this luxury and this beauty. And yes, the Empress does want those things. She wants, yes, the money, and she wants the comfort. She wants the beautiful clothing. She does like the designer labels. She does want the beautiful car. She wants this incredible home. Now, you can have a different style, it doesn't matter what your style is. But Empress wants the best that Earth has to offer. And a lot of the things that Earth has to offer is the best of what man has to offer. All right. And she does. She wants the best. And she doesn't want to settle because why should she? And she understands the infiniteness of the abundance. She understands the accessibility. And maybe one of the reasons this moon is out here is because you were unable to perceive the accessibility of these seemingly out of reach things. And here you are, you're like, I'm going to go get it. I'm going to go get it. This doesn't have to be a super spiritual time. That's what I love about Sagittarius. And maybe I already did the astrology. I don't know if I mentioned this in the astrology, but that's the beautiful thing about Sagittarius season is that the material world, I'm clearly not saying that word right. The material world and the spiritual world are one and of the same. There is no distinction here in this part of the sky at all. You can be the most spiritual person, but that does not mean that you have to deny the things of the world. In fact, if you do deny the things of the world, it's likely that you are denying a certain aspect of yourself, most likely. And if you're denying a certain aspect of yourself, then you are not really being authentic, and therefore your spirituality is compromised. Okay, so it kind of goes full circle. All right, let's see. 5 of Swords we have. For some reason, over the past couple of weeks, the 5 of Swords comes out, and I hear the words, the merry-go-round. It came out, I think, in one of the weekly bumps or in one of the weekly love readings. And ever since then, every time the 5 of Swords comes out, it's like, okay, it's time for you to get off the merry-go-round because you're sick of it. It's making you dizzy. It's making you like a little bit nauseous. You're like, oh my gosh, like, am I really here again? Am I really dating this type of person again? Am I really at this level in my bank account again? Like, how the heck do I break this freaking pattern? And I think the vigor with which you say that, how do I break this freaking pattern? It's like you're saying it out loud, almost like you're yelling at the cosmos or God or spirit. And it's like that energy, that oomph, that fight. I love the full moon conjunct Mars. I know it's going to bring challenges and no, it will not be a perfect moon, but man, is it going to bring the fight out in people. And that's what we need, right? We need that fight. Some people are more naturally like that. Libras, probably not so much unless you have a really strong Mars or a really strong set of masculine planets like Jupiter or Saturn or something. So if that's not you, like if you don't have that fighter energy, you're gonna feel it with that Ace of Swords, because like even on this card, it almost looks like the Ace of Swords. The first thing I thought was, this is an arrow going down a road. That was the first image that clicked. That's why I love these kind of more abstract cards, because it's like we can extract so much stuff. It's like one of those like the ink blot in psychology tests and stuff. You pull out different things. I immediately saw an arrow on a road, and it's like, oh, well, there's the Ace of Swords. Oh, well, that makes sense. That Ace of Swords also being represented. This is basically an arrow. Okay, pointing straight up at the Empress. Like, that's the destination. That's the destiny. Getting off of this merry-go-round. Now, this is probably going to happen like the second week of December into like maybe the beginning of Capricorn season, when Chiron is slowing way down and Neptune is just starting to go direct and Mercury is going to be in pre-shadow. So like there, it is triggery out there. Okay. So, but you don't have to walk on eggshells. Just let yourself get freaking triggered. It's going to be the best thing that ever happened for you. Like if you notice that someone is saying something and you're starting to get agitated and irritated, or if someone is doing something and you get jealous, like, okay, well, that's communicating something really, really important to you. And instead of Libra projecting something outward, you internalize it in the best possible way. And you say, okay, well, what does this mean? Like, what is my soul telling me? Like, I want to go for broke here. I want to be holding a royal flush, and I want to go all in knowing that I am going to win, because there's no possible way. The odds are such that there is no possible way that I won't win. And what is it going to take for Libra to have that attitude about themselves? What is it going to take for Libra to get riled up and to get aggressive and to get passionate and to get heated and to tell people to go screw off? And I have felt that with Libra all year. And maybe this is Chiron in your opposition, maybe, I don't know, but it's like Libra is starting to get really strong. And it's all because this crap, all of the crap that you've put up with in the past. And I think when you look back, you're like, oh my gosh, that is so gross. Like, I can't believe I put up with that. I can't believe I didn't see how much better I was than that situation, or how much better I was than how that person was treating me, or how much better I was than that company even. Like how suppressed or oppressed I was in that environment and how I wasn't able to be creative. This is going to be the beautiful thing about Pluto coming into your 5th house, you guys. Honestly, this is the beauty. Because that Pluto in the 5th is absolutely going to bring out that voice, that incredible self-expression that I think Libra, it has been blocked for quite some time. The world has not seen the best of you, and they will. 2023 and 2024, that game changes for Libra. Okay. The Fool. Oh my gosh. Amazing. Exactly. This is exactly the thing. Taking that huge leap into an entirely new timeline, and ready to face the dangers, ready to face the the adversities lurking in the corners, you know, or in the shadowy corners. It's like, you're ready. Like, bring it on. Another Temperance card and an Eight of Wands. See, this is going to happen once Capricorn season has been activated. And Mercury is really slowing down. And then we have that new moon in Capricorn. Huge initiation. And I like fourth house activity for people. So whenever there's a new moon in someone's fourth house, really that fourth house is, I would say it's actually a lot more important than like the first house, because this is the foundational house upon which everything else is rooted. Like, for example, your self-concept, first house, is rooted on in your childhood and how your parents treated you and how you were educated and how you were treated, right? So your career success likely depends on that as well, and your relationship depends on that as well. So whenever someone has a new moon in that fourth house, happens once a year, or maybe twice if there's like a blue moon or something, once a year, and this is that moment, that magical moment, that the seed that we plant, because we're always kind of initiating things with that new moon energy, the seed that we plant is most likely to change the course of our lives. And you're very unique, because I did a whole video about the new moon in Libra that happens every year as well, and how special that new moon is. So we have the new moon in Libra and new moon in Capricorn, which are important new moons for you. So the Fool is about the breaking off of the merry-go-round. And yes, it can be dizzying. Like, if you've been spinning around and around and around and around, you jump off. What are the odds that you're going to be able to just stand right up and start walking forward? It's going to be a little shaky, but it's fine. You're okay with that as long as you're off. You know, you're off and you actually get to, and the word accelerate has been a massive theme throughout almost every reading I've done this month. And with the Eight of Wands, you are no exception, clearly. When your mind is sharp and you are aligned toward a goal and you have some semblance of a plan on how to get there, this is when you become unstoppable. Some people are much better at it than others, but I think with Libra, with that Neptune in the sixth, the Pisces rulership of that sixth house is challenging enough, but to have Neptune in there creates a lot of weirdness there too. So I think Libra is craving a lot more structure in their life, and this is probably going to be a month where you feel ready to set up that structure. Capricorn season is activated. So as we move into January, it will be the same thing. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and pull out the clarifiers. Now, for those of you who are new, the cards I'm about to pull out are the cards we'll cover in the comprehensive. All the information in the description box and comment thread down below. We talk for another 25 to 30 minutes, so it's kind of like a whole second reading, so we go a lot deeper into a lot of these cards. And there are different options, like there are single purchase options and subscription options, so please just make sure you read and select the right option for you. So let's go ahead and take a look at this Temperance and what else the universe needs from you right now, Libra. Sitting here cool as a cucumber, no one realizing you are holding the royal flush. Ace of Coins, beautiful. Knight of Cups. And the World, excellent. I love the World right now. We have Three of Wands in the environment, another Two of, well, not another, but Two of Swords. And what's this one? Ooh, Queen of Cups, which is, by the way, the card of Cancer, and that is your 10th house ruler. So, okay. The Moon, what else does Libra need to know about this Moon? Ooh, an Eight of Wands. Ooh, Ace of Coins too. Well, that's actually really pleasantly surprising. Empress reversed, Queen of Wands. We love her. She is giving such good. All I can feel is just happy. Like when I look at the expression on this woman's face, like it's just so happy. King of Cups, so a Queen of Wands and a King of Cups. 3 of Coins reversed. 7 of Wands on top of 7 of Coins reversed, but with the Sun, beautiful. 8 of Cups reversed. Ooh, a World on top of the 5 of Swords. The merry-go-round. 10 of Cups reversed. Yeah, it sucks to be there, that's for sure. The Hermit. It's like one world for another world. You have to embrace a new world. One that is lucrative and profitable. One that is much more than what you think you can get. The Fool reversed. 2 of Swords reversed. So now we have another 2 of Swords. 10 of Wands reversed. Wheel of Fortune reversed. Libra sitting here like, where is the good luck? Right? Where is the good luck? Well, we get to make our luck right now. The Star. Another Queen of Cups. 4 of Cups. 3 of Cups. Temperance. Ooh, beautiful 4 of Wands. I love that. 8 of Coins reversed. The Hierophant. 9 of Swords. Free from bondage. Right there in plain sight in tarot card pictures. Page of Swords with the blade to cut and the King of Wands, the blade and everything. Okay, so this is where we're going to pick up in the comprehensive. So if you want to join, of course, we would love to have you. Again, all the info down below. Thank you all so much. Have an amazing December, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Hello Libra, welcome to your December 2022 astrology forecast. So let's go ahead and take a look here and see what the stars have in store for you this month. So first and foremost, as we enter into December, the sun is sitting at 9 degrees of Sagittarius. So for you, this is third house activity. There is no doubt in my mind that the beginning of December is going to have a lot of activity for you. And there is a strong desire for Libra to move and to grow and to make changes. And of course, Sagittarius is a mutable sign. The third house is really extensive. There are a lot of possibilities that come through here. There's also a lot of courage and life force energy that comes in through the third house. When I was studying Vedic astrology back in 2020, that was one of the things that really stood out to me, because I was like, I never heard that before. Why don't we talk about that in modern astrology? And when you really think about it, that first house, they kind of say, okay, well, that's like where your spirit joins its body, and there's a lot of that's like the spark of life. And then the second house is really about survival. Like you can think of a little child breastfeeding for nutrients, right? It has to eat, but it can't really do that much else. It doesn't have the motor skills really. It can't really take care of itself. And then with that third house is when that child starts to crawl and walk around. It's like that little toddler energy running around, pulling the pots and pans out of the cabinets. It kind of has this like feeling of omnipotence, immortality, indestructibility. And it is very courageous and really curious. And I think Libra, Sagittarius season has such an ability to bring you alive, unless you have really challenging planets in Sagittarius, obviously. But generally speaking, it's a very life-giving sign for Libra. So we start off with that, which is beautiful. We have Venus and Mercury in here as well. Now, the first big transit is actually happening over here in your 6th house with Neptune. So Neptune goes direct on December 3rd. Now, this will be a more emotional transit. So we may be feeling it as we kind of go through the last part of November, the beginning of December. Just things may feel a little bit off, or there may be some weird mix-ups, or we may jump to conclusions or any kind of strange things like that. We may kind of relax a little bit on our habits and the things that we need to do, like, oh, we may let our laundry pile up a little bit, or we may not answer those emails right away. We may get a little bit more lackadaisical with those things. But when Neptune goes retrograde, it's really important to remember that he wants us to see and experience the boundlessness of this universe. So that is either the inner universe or the outer one, doesn't matter. But retrograde, it goes internal. So we have to confront a lot of our limits up here, right? The limiting decisions that we make on a regular basis. We have to confront those things and come into some kind of an understanding that those may or may not be real. I'm not saying the thoughts aren't real. I'm not saying the decisions aren't real, but they may be founded on unreal things. They may be founded on projected fears of the future or assumptions that we've made with something like, oh, if I go do this thing that I'm assuming that no one's going to care, that's going to be something that Neptune hopefully could help you work through. When he starts going direct, we start to see the limitlessness of the world. So it goes from the limitlessness of our human potential to the limitlessness of opportunities out there in the world today. And so that shift can be really, really good for us. It's just weird. There's just going to be inertia, and we're going to feel that like almost, I always say it's kind of like a little bit of seasickness there, not like physical seasickness, but just kind of like energetic seasickness where something just gets a little bit strange or wonky, but it's okay. It will settle itself out after a few days. So if you are feeling a little more emotional than you normally do, or if you're feeling a little bit more sleepy or tired or whatever, please give yourself the rest that you may need. The next transit we have is Mercury coming into Capricorn, activating that fourth house. This is a little bit, I think this is like a big period of closure, okay? When these planets, and eventually the sun will make its way into here too. Oops, sorry, that's my stool. It's just like we've had so much Capricorn activity, like everybody, right? We've all had it hit somewhere in our charts, and that area of our life is starting to get a little daunting. For you, that home environment and maybe like that desire to be at home or to have more private time or to be cut off a little bit more from the world, fourth house can have a more hermit quality, not to mention Neptune in the sixth can also certainly bring out that hermit quality too. And I think that this is the time, right? This is going to be the last Capricorn season. Technically we'll have another one next year, but it's like the last full one. Pluto's going to kind of retrograde back again. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But anyway, where we're like, this is like the last one with Pluto in Capricorn, and it's just like, we're so done. And I think Pluto is like, yeah, we are done. We're done with the fourth house energy. We're done with the healing. We're done with all the psychotherapy. We're done with analyzing our past and blaming our parents, and we're done with the wounds and the traumas, and we're done with the struggle, and we're ready to expand into our creativity now, okay? And so this is going to feel like a little bit like a point of closure for us, and I think we're beyond ready for that feeling of closure. So when Mercury comes in, our minds are going to be just like really fed up with going backwards, and it's going to be almost obsessed with going forwards. Now, Mercury is doing a retrograde here in Capricorn, so there probably is still going to be a little bit of unfinished business that surfaces, especially with Neptune going direct. It's like anything in terms of our limitations, right, with Capricorn, needs to be addressed and it needs to be put in its place. Sometimes that can be useful, but most of the time it's harmful to our progress and to our growth and to our expansion. So Mercury is going to help us logically assess where we're at without a lot of convoluted anything. It's just going to be logical and rational, and is going to help us take a really good stock or take inventory of where we are so that we can fully embrace where we're going. Now that's happening on the 6th. On the 7th, we are going to have this full moon conjunct Mars in the 9th. Now, this is like a little moment of hope for Mars. Mars, I think he's doing okay here in Gemini. He's not super weak on December 1st. He's scoring at a +1. Like, he's okay. He's not the worst, but I think that retrograde feels so daunting for him, and he's just kind of, he's got all of December left, and he'll be going direct in January, but this is kind of like the big stretch for him. It's like that last leg of a really long road trip that feels like it will never end. That's kind of where Mars is at. So when the full moon comes fully illuminated and bright, there is that okay, Mars is alert now, okay, the moon is coming, the queen is coming in, and I'm here to serve her. Right? Like in traditional astrology, we learned that the sun and moon are like the king and queen of the kingdom, and all the other planets are here to serve their king and queen and fulfill the mission of their king and queen. So when the queen comes in and she is bright and full, Mars is at full service, and he says, okay, queen, where do I need to go? What do I need to do? Please tell me. I have been going retrograde. I have been waiting for instructions here in this weird, mercurial land of Gemini, and I just need some direction. And so the moon is going to come in and say, this is what we desire, and this is what our hearts are guiding us to do. And Mars is like, okay, I'm on it. And he's just going to freaking go out and do it. Now, the moon and Mars both are pretty fluctuating and volatile planets. They're not, volatile more Mars, but unstable more moon. Okay, so there's not a lot of solid qualities with either of these planets. All right, they're both slightly unpredictable. So we may end up doing something unpredictable even to us. It's oh wow, I surprised myself doing that. How crazy that is. How strange that I had that courage to do that. I can't believe I reached out. I can't believe I said that. But I think that's good, because it's that limitlessness of that Neptune is you are a limitless being. Why are you putting limits on yourself? Stop putting limits on yourself. Jupiter is also facilitating that as well. It's smacking us across the face. It's stop it. Stop doing that. And because this Jupiter is sitting on your descendant in aspect with all of your angular houses, your sense of self, your home and family, your relationships, and your career, every single aspect every single massive aspect of our lives is getting the benefit of this courage, this benefit of seeing ourselves as capable, seeing ourselves as deserving, and seeing ourselves as we're going to go after it and we're going to take that leap. Now, the thing is, though, is that moon, it's going to start to wane, right? It's not going to stay there. It's very impermanent. So as it starts to wane and it makes its way to its new moon on the 23rd in Capricorn, which is a sign of detriment for the moon. It is a period of darkness where right after that winter solstice here in the Northern Hemisphere, the nighttime is the longest. Right? Now, granted, this is the time when it changes, but we have very long nights and very short days. It's a dark moon, so it's in Saturn energy. So it's just all in all, it's a difficult moon. Now, some may argue that the moon conjunct Mars is problematic and can create challenges, but I don't think that those challenges are bad. I think they are facilitating growth. And they're triggering. Yes, we may have moments of anger or agitation. We may get annoyed and bite someone's head off accidentally, with our words. We can be very sharp with our words. Okay, for a minute, we have these challenges for a minute, but it's going to give us that courage that we need, especially with this third house activity down here as well, with that courage, bravery, and life force energy coming out. And we, we're willing to bear the burden of a challenge for the sake of the goal, you know? So anyway, I get a little bit ahead. We'll talk a little bit more about the moon in a second. But so we have that full moon on the 7th. And then on December 9th, Venus comes into Capricorn as well. Now, if you remember, and I've been saying this for every sign, this is where Venus was retrograde at the beginning of 2022. January, February, March. It was very weird, okay? I think for me, it was the hardest transit I've ever been through. Some other people may have had good things happen. I hope that was you. I really hope that you look back to that period of time and you're like, oh, that was like the best time of my life. A lot of people did not feel that. There was a lot of difficulty in relationships. There were a lot of financial difficulties. There were a lot of transitions going on. It was a tough Venus retrograde. The next time she retrogrades is going to be in Leo. That's going to be in a much more advantageous house for you. It probably will have a lot to do with, obviously, social contacts in the 11th house, but also money too. A lot of money comes through that 11th house. So, but that'll happen in Leo's season of next year. So we still have a ways for that. But the fact that she's kind of returning to the scene of the crime, if you will, you know, with an elegance, with a grace, with a sense of diplomacy. And in a way, she's like, I did it. I made it through. I succeeded. I pushed myself. I did all these incredible things that I didn't know that I was truly capable of doing. And look at how proud I am of myself. I do think December is going to be a time where we have an opportunity to really just be proud of how far we've come. And as much as we want to go and be big and make all sorts of stuff happen, it is going to be so crucial for us to just like wrap ourselves in love and be like, you're doing such a good job. Okay, so please don't be afraid to give yourself accolades, because if you compare yourself where you were at the beginning of 2022 versus where you are now, chances are you're in completely different shoes. Okay. And then we don't really have anything big happening until Jupiter comes into Aries on the 20th. So again, it's going to cross over this descendant, activating all of the big angular houses, 1, 4, 7, and 10, which are some of the most important areas of our life. We have our physical body and our sense of self, and we have our home and family environment, we have our relationships, and we have our career. So, or our public life, or, you know, whatever, you know, our reputation, all that kind of stuff, our relationship to society, if you will. So Jupiter comes in. Now, I think that, especially if you have been single, Libra is one of those signs that can, like Libra and Scorpio and like Capricorn, like these are signs that can go for long periods of time being single. I know every sign, it depends on who you are, but like Libra is so known for like, oh, always relationship, but like, no, you can go long periods of time with being single. and I think the hope for many single Libras is really starting to return for this Jupiter through Aries transit. I think you got a little bit of a taste of it this year, where your heart was starting to warm and you were starting, because like to have Saturn in this 5th house kind of brings a deep freeze on the romantic department sometimes. It doesn't have to manifest for you that way, but it could have had that effect. And so Jupiter is coming and saying like, look, Libra, you can have hope here. You can expand. You can put yourself out there. You can start dating if you want to, or, you know, even if you're married, this could be also a really healthy, you know, accentuation of that area where you may be feeling like you want to go do something more adventurous, right? Jupiterian, you want to expand your relationship some way. Let's go travel. Let's go on a great trip, or let's start a business together, you know, whatever. And it can be highly advantageous for you. The only thing is next year, I don't mean to get too far ahead, but just keep in mind, Jupiter as a magnifier is going to be magnifying that Chiron energy. So in it enters into Taurus in May. I don't have the exact date of this conjunction. I'm just realizing that I didn't pull that date. I don't know exactly when, but probably like February It's going to come to this conjunction with Chiron, and this is going to be excellent for the healing that Libra may need to do regarding relationships. Chiron in the 7th, it's like looking back on your past and going through a lot of forgiveness for the abuse that you've ever had, or, even the parents and their impact in your relationship. And like, there's a lot of psychology with Chiron. And so as he comes in and magnifies it, I do think Libra is going to go through a revival in their romantic life because of that. And it could be a really beautiful thing for you and your romantic lives. So that's on the 20th, Jupiter comes in. On the 21st, the sun will come in as well. So Jupiter and the sun activating the cardinals, Aries and Capricorn are both activating. So it's just like a highly active month for cardinals. That's all I can say. It's just a really active month. So this is why cardinal signs are taking such huge chances and such huge leaps of faith in a lot of ways. It's just because they're feeling the pressure to do that. And then on the 23rd is the day that we have that new moon. So I already talked about that new moon and the Saturn energy and the darkness and all that, the 4th house, So the 23rd is also the day that Chiron goes direct. So at the beginning of December, we have Neptune going direct. At the end of December, we have Chiron going direct. So there's just a lot of change of direction here. And we may feel like a little back and forth and just feeling kind of tossed and turned a little bit. Like, if you ever been on a train and you're trying to walk on the train and it can be a little rickety and it's just, you don't really have that firm footing. It's kind of how December may feel because of the fact that these are going direct. In January, Uranus goes direct, so we'll get a little bit of that. But I think this month is going to be a little bit more like back and forth. So we have the new moon, and then that's pretty much it until Mercury goes retrograde on the 29th. So remember, throughout all of that, Mercury is going really slow. He's slowing down anyway. He goes retrograde at the 24th degree. So not technically in a full or an exact conjunction with Pluto down here. That's okay. Pluto will still have a slight influence in that Mercury retrograde, at least at the turning points there. And it's just going to really help us to... It's really a lot about structure, I think, right now, and being logical and rational about what we really need to do, being honest and being real for the sake of our growth. Okay? All right, Libra, I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you so much. I love you. Have an amazing December, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.